Hi, guys. It's Beth here from Aging Care Solutions, offering both professional guidance and personal caregiving experience for families, caregivers, really anybody who's helping a loved one on the care journey of life. So, welcome or welcome back. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy I'm here. Today, as the title would indicate, is I wanted to talk about technology and how it has improved and really is helping a lot of people who live alone, especially aging seniors and their families, either whether they have children, adult children, or grandchildren or not, it can bring them peace of mind as well. And there's so many different ones, but the ones that I recall referring, and I used to hand out their brochures. So when I was doing private duty nursing for a decade, I would see a lot of people who lived at home by themselves, and we would go in to do an assessment, not only of their environment, the safety of their environment, make suggestions on that, but they would also have a nursing assessment done, and we would look at their medications and try to figure out how can we safely write a plan of care for you, and keep you happy and safe in your home. And one of the things that if somebody had had multiple falls, or even if they were just starting to fall, but it wouldn't matter because if you were so weakened by, say, a bad bout of the flu or just really anything, if you were just sick with a bad cold and you were weak, if you're in distress, there's nothing worse than thinking, oh my God, I might not be able to reach the phone, or how am I going to get to the, like if something happens to me overnight, or if I'm out walking out to the garage to bring the trash, so that's why these devices, and I would always refer Philips Lifeline. It's been a while, so I don't even know, but I am sure that they have way more of a product offering than they did back in the day. Back then it was wristlets, so it looked like a watch, but it was a fall device. It would detect whether or not you had a fall. And the other would be a pendant. So if you've ever gone anywhere, you see people wearing these. I see them. I see them all the time. And the technology has gotten to the point where some of them are detected by satellite systems. So if people are wandering, or if there's a cardiac patient who lives alone and they have AFib or, low oxygen, I mean, they can track all these different things now. It's fascinating to me. But the one that's like become really popular, and a friend of mine used this for her parent, and this device saved her mother's life, and I'll tell you why. It was her Apple Watch, her Apple tags. She kept a tag on her keys, and also, I don't know if it was in her purse or her wallet or something. Anyway, they were able to watch wherever she went, and her dementia started getting worse, and her mother was wandering like miles from where she lived, miles. Like, I think she said to me one night, she said, Beth, the way that this Apple, like it's real time, it tells you where they're pinging from. She walked like 12 miles, 10 or 12 miles one night. So she must have gotten up at 11 p.m. and my friend didn't notice it till the next morning when she woke up. And of course, at 5:30 a.m. or whatever time it was, called the police, told them what had happened, and they knew exactly where she was. She was sitting at a bus stop, no sweater, had her little purse, waiting, waiting, waiting. Anyway, this device, and I want to read some other stuff to you too, because it not only does it have fall detection and emergency SOS, the watch can detect hard falls and automatically can call emergency services. And that to me is such a lifesaver, because if you slip, if you fall and you are knocked out, you're disoriented, you are dazed, whatever, it's going to automatically detect where your location is because of the device, and it can notify in an emergency. It will place a call for you, right? And as I had just said too, it seems to me like this Apple Watch has way more technology, and it is, but I know there's a lot of other ones out there. There's dozens of them that people are using. Some of them are very simple, but other ones can be, like I said, they're especially if you're wearing like a monitor. It can monitor your heart rate if you've got AFib, blood oxygen. So if you have a problem, maybe say that you've got COPD and your oxygen is really important, or if it falls below a certain level, it can even, some of these devices can even offer ECG, so electrocardiogram. You could set up notifications too. So if you do have AFib and you've got irregular rhythms, it can detect when it's too high or too low. And it's also a great way for you to see, what is my parents' daily activity or their mobility tracking? How are they functioning throughout the day? And if you see that they're sitting all day long, this might encourage them to start walking, whether they have a friend that can go with them, or they go to a senior center, or they belong to a health club, or they have a treadmill. It can track the daily activity, like their steps and how much exercise they're doing. It can also indicate changes in walking steadiness, potentially flagging for early signs of balance issues. These watches can also provide medication reminders. So if that's something where they're starting to get forgetful, or with every meal, so say that they're supposed to take something in the morning with breakfast and then something when they have a little food in them at lunchtime or evening, it's a great reminder to have the technology of this device and they don't even have to, it can just simply do a printout, which is really awesome. They don't have to like sit down and open their computer. It's going to show up right on their wrist, which is really nice. It's also going to do location sharing, like find my device, or and that's exactly how my friend found her mom repeatedly. It was not just a one-time event, happened multiple times, where she was lost and she was wandering, and in real time, they were able to locate exactly where she was. And it does pair well with like an Apple Watch, Apple tags, Apple phones. So if that person doesn't have their iPhone, but you are part of their shared network, you can find them even if their phone is home, but they're wearing their watch, or they're wearing an Apple tag on their keys. And with the cellular plans, your parent can make and receive calls and text messages without even having their phone nearby. It's going to be right on their wrist, okay? And of course, those AirTags, those are just great location devices. So, I mean, some people are putting them on their dogs, they're doing all kinds of things. But when you think about someone who lives alone, and how it can really help keep them safe, by tracking their movements and making sure that they're safe. It's also a great way if someone like is prone to losing their wallet or their purse or even their devices like a walker. So if they're in a building, or maybe they go to the store. I've seen people do this. It's so weird. They'll walk in with a device and then they leave it like after a doctor's appointment, and then they go back to their car and drive home and they're like, "Where's my walker?" So anyway, they're just great. It's a great device, even though a lot of people don't like to be spied on. But honestly, I don't feel like this to me is not something. This is more of a safety device that can save your life. That's the way that I'm looking at it. There's also privacy tips that can be set up too. So family sharing and health data. You can check health data securely through the health app. You can communicate and teach your parents how to use the side button for emergency help. And just talking to them about it. I think a lot of times they're not going to look at their cell phone or a wristwatch as like an elderly person's device. It's not only will it tell you the time and how many steps you're taking, you can check your email, you can listen to music from it. So it does a lot of different things that all of us are currently doing and using. The other ones are like if someone is living alone, and I personally haven't done this. I didn't need to do it because I did move my parent closer. But a lot of families are using cameras, like just like you would outside on your front doorstep to see who's on your Ring door camera. You can set up a camera in the main living area of your parents' home. So you could see them if they're coming and going from the kitchen to the living room, or from their back bedroom, from their bedroom and bathroom into the main living area where the TV would be and the main phone. And it's just a great way to bring peace of mind for families who are living remotely from their loved one. And not everybody wants to talk on the phone. Maybe they don't. They really just want to be able to sign off at the end of the night. My girlfriend just lost her mom, God rest her soul. And one of the things that they did at the end, she stayed in her home to the very, very end. But they installed a camera, and she did have I don't know if it was Philips or whatever she had as far as a fall device in case she was out of sight. But every night she would say goodnight by saluting them. And the adult children lived all in various places. They were not all local. So they were all happy that they could see her, say goodnight to them. And so yeah, these devices, as I said, are becoming so much more prevalent. The one that my ex-husband's using to monitor his dad's continuous glucose monitor is called Dexcom. So with so many people having diabetes, this device is unbelievable. It is a real-time A1C monitor that detects dips or spikes in the insulin. And it's a device that they wear on the back of their arm. And when it's properly operating, whoever assigns and manages it is going to be able to see it from their phone. So you can call them and say, hey, it doesn't look like, have you eaten today? Or, it looks like you need to get something in you. Maybe have a little bit of juice or something because your levels have fallen quite a bit. Because you've set up markers, and if it goes below that, it will send whoever you've given authorization to, a notification so that they can manage you and help you. So these are just some of the things that people are using. And I encourage you, even if you live by yourself, like if you're worried, if you have started to become more unsteady on your feet, maybe you're just recovering from maybe a hospital stay in your home and you are by yourself, and even if you're not by yourself, someone's going to have to go out and do the grocery shopping. They're going to want to do their own self-care and go to their own doctor's visits. So even if you have a spouse, I say if they're out of the house for any length of time, it certainly wouldn't hurt to have, a phone or an Apple Watch or one of these devices, these pendants or whatnot, to offer everybody that peace of mind that would make everybody feel better knowing dad's going to be fine, mom's going to be fine. So anyway, I hope this topic was helpful for you. I think we're only going to start to see more and more things that are going to be really helpful for people from a technology standpoint. But if you have any questions or comments, or you have things that you're dealing with, in all likelihood, it's something that maybe I've discussed with families or gone through myself. I would love to know where you're watching me from. So can you just put in the comments, hey, I just watched your video. I'm in Seattle, whatever, anything like that. I'm kind of curious. I'm really new to this. It's only been a few months. I'm starting to grow the channel a little bit. We'll be offering consultations to families because it's kind of, regardless of where you live, these services, whether it's home health services covered under your health insurance, or private nursing, private duty nursing. I have knowledge in that. I worked for an elder law attorney. So I have not only a breadth of professional expertise, but I also, for 15 years, looked after my family members who are aging and did everything from, relocating, selling my family's home that I grew up in, touring and selecting the right community for a parent to live at who had dementia and was going to continue to decline in their health. So, so I have lived all aspects of the caregiver journey. So I look forward to being a good resource for you, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.